It's time for the weekly sports page with the dynamic David Coleman. Stay tuned for thrills, chills, and yes, spills. Oh yeah, and a whole lot of other great stuff. Call 855-525-5683. Tweet your questions at Dynamic Sports PA or Facebook. Drop a line on Dynamic Weekly Sports Show. Sit back, relax, and groove while Dynamic drops sports in your ear hole.
Nebraska wins the game on the final play of the contest. Oh, baby! How about that? Jacked up indeed.
Are you kidding me?
They're not gonna keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow!
Now here's Dynamic David Coleman.
All right, good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave, right here at JoyNetRadio.com. We're here every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. You hit us up by sending us an email at weeklyssportsmagazine@gmail.com, or don't forget, go out to the website. I should say go out to our IG page. You can hit us up that way also, and we also do YouTube. Don't forget, we also post the show live after each show. So if you don't catch the live show, then you can catch the recording after the show. It's usually up no later than 15 to 20 minutes after the original show airs, okay? Also, you can download us on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Google Podcasts, iPhone, you name it. We're on quite a bit. I think the last time I checked, we're like on 9 different podcasts. So this is pretty good as well. So you can always keep up with the Weekly Sports Magazine. We got a lot of stuff to talk about for you today. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and tell you. We're going to talk about some of the football awards. You know, you kind of know that this show is going to be NFL related, most of it. You kind of think there's this big game going on Sunday. We're certainly going to talk about that. I tell you what, I'm going to tell you how you can beat the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I'm also going to tell you how you can beat the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy. So stay tuned for that. That ought to be very, very interesting. I'm also going to pick the game, of course. I'm also going to give you maybe some side bets that people like to bet on. I don't do that stuff, but a lot of people do, and people make money doing that, so I'm going to give you some of those. Let's see what else I'm going to do. I'm also going to give you some of my favorite foods that you'd like to have for your big game party, okay? You know, it's really simple. I'm just going to tell you some of the stuff I'd probably do if I was doing a party. You know, some of you guys are fat cats. Y'all have steak and lobster and all that other stuff. Well, you know, I got to go the cheap route. So I'm sure you probably do as well. So we'll get all of that as well. Awesome. Let's see. I wrote down a lot of stuff. Oh, I said I was going to pick the games. Side bets, party food. So we got all that in. And also, before we get into all of that, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA. The trade deadline was a couple of days ago, and there were some trades. There were some winners and some losers. We'll get into all of that as well. And I got to talk a little bit about this Kurt Herbstreit thing, that there's a lot of backlight. I should say a little animosity going on as it relates to what he did, as it relates to Nebraska. And, you know, I said NBA, so that's what we got going on. So before we get started, you know, we do this every Saturday morning. We got to speak to everybody before we get the show on the road, you know what I'm saying? Because we got so much stuff that we need to talk about. So let's get this thing popping. So good morning, everybody from the DMV area and the DMV doers. That's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I appreciate you listening, and hopefully we're going to continue to grow this audience. So stick and stay. Please spread the word and don't go away. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Also, let's see. Let's go up to Jersey and talk to my good buddy Larry Ridley. He's at CBS Sports Line. Happy for him that he's doing quite well. So good morning, Larry, and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Going to Dr. Doreen Lowry. She's at Acadia University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Doc. Welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Going south, let's go to Hotlanta and say good morning to all my friends in Atlanta. It's a whole rick of y'all there. Welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Going down to Pensacola, some of my buddies down there, good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Yeah, and we got to go down to New Orleans. You know, they're about to get ready for this big party. You know, Fat Tuesday. Good morning, and as they like to say, they say bon ton roulette. If you've been around a while, you probably know what that means. But I'll tell you, it means let the good times roll, and it's always fun. Just be careful. I'll tell you that Mardi Gras is not what it used to be. Okay? It just isn't. So y'all just be careful down there, okay? Let's see. Since we're coming south, let's go ahead and come up to Tennessee. I tell you what, let's go to Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky, where the Corvette Museum is located. And my good buddy Dwight, good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine, heading down I-40 west to Nashville, Tennessee. And all my friends there, Jason Hotel, Greg Pogue. I got tons and tons of people, Howard Gentry. Good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Is Ball Boy still around? Good morning, Ball Boy. Welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Headed down to Big M Town, Memphis, where I got my radio star. Good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine at WHBQ, by the way. Headed down to Little Rock, everybody, my friends, all my friends over at Arkansas Baptist College. Good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Carl, I almost said Carl and Keith. Man, that's cool. Old buddy of mine has passed away years ago. Just kind of hit my mind there. But also Carl, Sam, Dwayne, Aaron, all my P's, Myron, all of you guys, good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I hope you all are having a good time heading down to the DFW area where half of Little Rock is there. That's why there's so many Cowboy fans in Arkansas. Welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine, and my favorite city is San Antonio, Texas. Love that city, love the food, love the ambiance. Good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Going down to Houston, and my good buddy Kenneth Muntz. Welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the great things that you continue to do for Little Rock Central and things of that nature. And speaking of which, let me give a shout out to Dr. Nancy Russo, who is the president of Little Rock Central. She did me a big favor, a big solid, and I've got to send her a thank you letter. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all the things that you've done. And hell to the old gold, hell to the black. Okay, that's Dr. Nancy Russo at Little Rock Central. I don't want to forget about her. Heading west, let's holler at John Collins in Arizona, Dr. Rosie Milligan, who is in Los Angeles, California. Good morning and welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I need to call her next week. We're going to get her on the show and talk a little bit about Black Writers on Tour that's going to be happening late April, if I remember correctly. So we'll get you all that when we get to Black Focus Radio. All right. So, but good morning. Welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Don't want to forget my favorite young lady, my favorite daughter, Sierra Colton, who's in Chicago, Illinois. Hey, baby, how you doing? Daddy loves you. Welcome to the Weekly Sports Magazine. She like, Daddy, really? Okay, come on. So if I missed you this morning, send me an email at weeklysportsmagazine@gmail.com, and I'll remember to get you next week. So, as I said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Okay? But look, it's gonna be football heavy. You know that. The big game is tomorrow. And tomorrow night it starts at 5:30 Central, or Eastern, I should say. So it ought to be a fun game. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about how I would beat the 49ers. It's going to be tough, but how I would beat the 49ers. And we're also going to talk about how I would beat the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be tough, but I got some words on that, okay? We're also going to talk about the Chiefs are underdog again, which I think is pretty interesting. We'll talk about also some of the prop bets that are out there, some of your favorite game day food. I've been to a few tailgates in my lifetime. Excuse me. Most people won't be tailgating because you won't be in Vegas, but you'll be in your kitchen. So, or you'll be in your house or out on your deck, depending on the way the weather is. So, we're going to give you some food ideas as well. Some may take a little time to prep, but I think overall, I've got some good stuff for you coming up on that. We'll talk, Chip Kelly has left UCLA, which is a surprise. I'm going to weigh in on that. I want to talk about Kurt Herbstreit. We'll do that as well. Let me make sure I put that down there because we'll get all of that here in just a moment. And we're going to talk about NBA. There was some NBA trade. The trade deadline was this week. There were some teams that stood pat. Some teams made some trades. My team, the Philadelphia Eagles, made an interesting trade. But I don't know that it's going to make a difference in the grand scheme of things. To be totally honest, I don't know. I don't know. The NBA, I've watched more NBA this year than I've done in a long time, even more than college basketball. I usually watch a lot of college basketball, but this year, for whatever reason, it's been NBA, and I'm getting tired. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Let's start with the surprise that Chip Kelly is leaving UCLA and where he's headed, and he's leaving UCLA, a job where he was making, I would imagine as a head coach, a pretty tidy sum, to go to Ohio State. To go to Ohio State to be, listen, the offensive coordinator. Yeah, the offensive coordinator. Yeah. Does that surprise you? Huh? It should. Here's why it should. Because, and I'll just read you the story here. Let's see. The era of NIL and the transfer portal has undeniably affected college football's coaching carousel. I wouldn't necessarily say that. All right. Yes, Ohio State will pay Kelly well, but it won't pay him nearly as much as the $10 million he have received just waiting for the other shoe to drop in Brentwood. So he's making $10 million at UCLA. Kelly has made plenty of money as a coach at the college and NFL levels, but you only walk away from $10 million with the proper motivation to do so. And that's what I'm trying to get to here. Okay? We know they all went to the Big Ten and so on and so forth. But the question is, why would he walk away from $10 million to go and be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State? And I'm curious. And I was going through this article earlier, and I was trying to figure out, well, who made that offer? I'm just wondering, man. Who made that offer? Was it maybe the athletic director? It seems odd to me, man. It seems that Ryan Day is going to have to, he's going to have to beat Michigan this year. Is this the third year? Third year that they haven't beaten Michigan? Y'all get my point. Y'all get my point, right? They're sending a message to, do you want someone like a Chip Kelly as your offensive coordinator? Is that something that you sought out, or who sought that out? I'm just going to leave it at that. But Chip Kelly is on the way to Ohio State. really, really interesting, to say the least. Okay. Okay. And the funny thing about it, these coaches and these people are trying to blame NIL. Chip Kelly was making $10 million at UCLA. That was a pregnant pause. He walked away from $10 million. Then you tell me that the players don't deserve to make money. And, and here's the other thing. Those players that were at UCLA that you recruited, look, it is almost mid-February. So there are some kids on campus that you recruited who came to UCLA because you were the head coach and you made them promises. See, no one's talking about this. Will those kids have an option to leave now? And will they be able to go to other schools? This is the problem. Don't give me this mess about what the NIL is doing to college football. College coaches have been doing it for years, and so have the administrators, and you all just don't like it now that the players have some power. And I thought I read something the other day that the National Labor Relations Board ruled that was it some players in Columbia or something like that were ruled employees. Let me see if I can look that up real fast. They were ruled employees of the college. I believe in National Labor Relations Board rules college. Y'all can do this with me. Athletes are employees. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I did. All right. The NLRB, a regional director, rules Dartmouth basketball players are employees, setting up a potential landmark board case. So it's happening. That's the point. I thought I had read that a couple of days ago. That's the point. This is going to get really interesting, to say the least. So anyway, since we're quickly talking about college football, let me go ahead and throw in this Kurt Herbstreit thing real fast. So, I've been paying attention to this particular kid, and not, like I've been following him, but I've heard his name and stuff like that, because you tend to hear people's names a lot more for whatever reasons now that there's NIL, because a lot of these kids are getting big money and they're driving on campus with $45,000, $50,000 cars and stuff like that, and I ain't mad at them. Get your money, bro. I hope you're just saving some. All right. So, Kurt Herbstreit, who is at Nebraska, is being accused of tampering. Now, Kurt Herbstreit doesn't officially work for Nebraska. He works for ESPN. So, let me just read this to you real fast, because this is shady. It really is. Kurt Herbstreit was allegedly tampering with a star recruit to convince him to go to Nebraska. The father of 5, quarterback Dylan Raiola, revealed that the ESPN analyst called his son, and Kirk specifically advocated for Dylan to commit to the Huskers. The father. I'll bring up one guy's name. His name is Kirk Herbstreit. When he saw the smoke about Dylan entertaining Nebraska, he was like, call me. He was like, dude, if this is true, he's got to do it. Following the phone call, Dylan Raiola flipped his commitment from Georgia to Nebraska. He is expected to be the starting quarterback at Nebraska next season. For the record, Kirk Herbstreit contacting this recruit is not illegal. I want y'all to understand that. Herbstreit is not employed as a football coach. Okay? So his phone call influencing a recruit technically isn't against NCAA rules. However, many find it unethical that an ESPN analyst who is supposed to remain unbiased, unbiased, is actively pushing a top recruit to a certain school. The biggest issue here is the context. Don't forget it was Herbstreit who was at the forefront of the college football collusion scandal involving Florida State University just a few months ago. Many FSU fans believe that Kirk Herbstreit had a hand in influence the college football committee into excluding the Noles as he lobbied against FSU making the playoff for weeks prior. The claims that Herbstreit might have had back channel communications with the committee to influence them are only going to grow after this, and I totally agree with you. Now look, Kurt Herbstreit is probably not the first one who's ever done this. Let's be real. He's probably not the first one. Okay? He's not going to be the last one. But it just kind of stinks to high heaven. It just does. And I can understand why some people are upset. Yes, I can. All right. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, and I tell you what, every time I go to break today, I'm going to tell you a food that you ought to cook. I'm going to tell you chips, salsa, and guacamole. Now, I know a lot of people are going to go out and buy it, but I'm going to tell you how easy it is to make chips and salsa. It's real simple. Here's what you do. Go get you a can of tomatoes. You can get them chopped. You can get them whole. I don't care. Get you a can of tomatoes. All right? Get you some lime, and you can get some cilantro, whether fresh. I like fresh, so get you some fresh cilantro. All right? Get you a small white onion. Now, depending on how much sauce you want to make, you might want to get 2 cans, but you still want 1 onion. Get you a jalapeno. Let's chop that up. Chop that onion up. You know, and you really don't, look, you want to put it in a blender, so you don't really have to even chop it up. Just wash it and put all that stuff in a blender. Right? Open up that can, pour that in the blender. Okay. Get you some garlic. Get you about 3 cloves of garlic. Throw that in the blender. 2 limes. Throw that in the blender. Blend it up. Guess what you got? Salsa. You might want to add some seasonings. I'll usually add a little oregano. I'll also add some Worcestershire sauce as well. That's about it. Salt and pepper. You know, the jalapeno, depending on the heat, you know what to do if you don't want it hot. But you got to have a little heat in the salsa. That's what you do. And, of course, you want to get some chips. You can make your own, but hey, it's best to buy them. Don't go through all that trouble. And get you some guacamole. Get you about 2 or 3 guacamoles. Shell them. Chop them up. Get you a red onion. Half a red onion. I like to put fresh. I like to put tomatoes in mine, so I'll chop up some fresh tomatoes and put it in it. Some garlic, lime, cilantro. Mix that up real good. Boom. That's your chips and dip. When we come back later on in the show, we'll give you some more tips on what you need to do for the big game tomorrow. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave on JoyNetRadio.com.
Hi, I'm David W. Coleman, host of Black Focus Radio and the Weekly Sports Magazine. We here at JoyNetRadio.com would like to thank you for all the love and support you've given us. Our goal is to keep you inspired and informed daily with quality programming from gospel music, news, talk, and sports. Log on to JoyNetRadio.com for the program lineup, and while there, be sure to make a donation. Then download our app and carry us anywhere in the world. Please continue to spread the word about JoyNetRadio.com. And if you are an entrepreneur or have an upcoming event or you'd like to start a show, let the professional writers and producers here at JoyNetRadio.com help you get the word out. Call me at 615-554-0568 for more details. In the meantime, stay informed and inspired daily right here on JoyNetRadio.com.
David W. Coleman here for Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub and Rib Nuts. Go to ribrub.com, that's RIBBRUBB.com right now, and stock up on the best dry marinades for baking, grilling, and smoking your favorite meats. 3 great flavors, hot and spicy, original, and scorching. Try them at your next cookout and you'll shout, bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah! Only one place to get Coleman's Dynamic products, that's ribrub.com. Easy to order, and I'll ship direct to you or to friends and family anywhere in the United States. While on the site, be sure to check out other great items, especially the rib nuts. Who'da thunk it? Peanuts sauteed in a barbecue marinade? That's just crazy good. Get them at ribrub.com right now, along with other great recipes. That's ribrub.com. If you don't like my rib rub or rib nuts, I'll give you money back. Do it today. That's Coleman's Dynamic Products at ribrub.com.
Listen.
Did you miss Dr. Ernest Gill from UT San Antonio?
When you're making $455 million off these student athletes and all you can come up with is $5,000, John Calipari makes $8 million a year, and his players are going to get $5,000 a year. The majority of these teams were white men and white males and females. Would this be happening? And I would say no, because their families wouldn't let it happen. But we're letting our kids get pimped.
Join the Weekly Sports Magazine every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. on joinnetradio.com.
Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got football talk coming up here in just a little bit. We'll get into all of that, the big game. I'll be giving you some tips on some of the things you might want to serve for the big game as well. Certainly, we're going to pick the games. We're going to look at some prop bets. We got a lot of stuff we're going to get into with the game. So y'all just angst in. There are a lot of stuff that we need to talk about. And the next thing I want to talk about is the NBA trade deadline. I've watched more NBA this year than I've probably watched in quite some time. And I'm a little annoyed at the NBA. I am. I hate the lax in rules. There's no defense. I saw someone who, and I tell you what, I'll even pull up that post because I thought it was hilarious. Because, you know, there's always a big debate on who are the better athletes at what time and place and so on and so forth. And I just realized something. I just realized I got to put something in my in the repertoire for the show, and because I got to make a point here. We'll do that later on. It's going to be football, but I just remembered I got to do that. Let me add that while I'm doing this, because white people are a trip, man. Y'all heard about this Kelsey thing, right? Okay, I got to make sure I add that to the football mix today. All right, so I'm sorry. But anyway, I want to talk about the NBA trade deadlines. And, you know, as I said, some people did okay. The Atlanta Hawks, they got a C. A lot of people thought DeJounte Murray was going to be moved. Apparently he didn't get moved, which was a surprise. They took a lot of offers off the table for him. The Boston Celtics got a B. Many people believe that the Boston Celtics is going to win the East. I don't know, but we'll see what happens here. That's interesting. I was just watching some highlights. I'm sorry. The Celtics ended up, Xavier Tillman was one of the steals in the trade. Why you should take any defensive metric with a grain of salt. So, a good defensive player. That's basically what he got. An absolute home run of the bench addition for the Celtics team that badly needed front court insurance for 37-year-old Al Horford. So, and of course, Porzingis. Nets got a C. The Charlotte Hornets got an A. The Terry Rozier deal was a deceptively valuable trade. They got a first-round pick in a market with very few of them available. And that lottery-protected 2027 choice becomes unprotected in 28. Jimmy Butler will be 38 in 27. It's entirely possible that Charlotte walks out of this trade with a valuable, unprotected Miami pick in 28. Gordon Hayward was traded, was a minor miracle, so that's what they did. The Bulls get an F. Let's see, the Cleveland Cavaliers get a B. That's interesting. Dallas Mavericks get a D. They got Daniel Gafford. Has been a disappointment. Okay. The Nuggets, they pass. They don't do anything. The Pistons get a B. I mean, what can you do with the Pistons except, do what you can? It's bad. Golden State gets a C. The Rockets a C minus. Indiana Pacers get a B. Los Angeles Clippers get an A. The Lakers, they basically stood pat. They get a C. They didn't really have any trade bait anyway. There was a lot of talk about D'Angelo Russell going to be traded, but I don't think many people wanted him, although Russell had been playing very, very good as of late. So we'll see how that plays out. The Grizzlies get a C. The Heat get a C as well. Terry Rozier trade has looked like a miss so far. Miami lost his first 4 games with Rozier, and his shooting numbers have been miserable for the Heat. It's too early to write the trade off entirely, especially since it cut Miami's luxury tax bill in half, which isn't a bad deal. Okay? But the opportunity cost here was significant. Now Miami is one fewer first-round pick to package for superstar Donovan Mitchell this offseason. Bucks get a B+. And the Timberwolves get a B. The Pelicans get a B. The Knicks get an A. They traded for OG Onanubi. Not bad. They also got Precious Achiuwa. Julius Randle is still out. Thunder get an A. They got Gordon Hayward. I don't know why everybody's fascinated about him. Magic get a C. The Philadelphia 76ers get a B. And let me take a moment to talk about Philadelphia. And I want to read a lot of this, okay? Last season, the 76ers won just 66% of their games on the night of Joel Embiid's 70-point performance against San Antonio, which might wind up being his last healthy game of the season. Philadelphia moved to 29-13. That's a winning percentage of 69%. Daryl Morey managed to trade James Harden for a haul of future picks and long-term draft capital, and his team got better as a result. Yes, Embiid's health puts a damper on that success, but we're judging the moves, not the outcomes. The biggest trade Philadelphia has made was an unmitigated success. It helped turn Tyrese Maxey into an all-star and helped set up the 76ers to potentially win sustainably for years to come. Tyrese Maxey is a bad boy, okay? Their deadline day was largely a positive. Getting Buddy Hield, which I think is a great pickup, will juice their three-point volume, something Morey seemingly always wanted for the 76ers, okay? So I think it's a good pickup. The problem is, how good could this be if Joel Embiid is healthy? You get what I'm saying? Because now Joel can get further into the post. He's dominant in the post. No one can stop him. Man, the problem is whether or not he can get healthy. We don't know. Do you sit him down for the playoffs? Maybe you do, but then he comes back and he's rusty. But it would make a difference if, in fact, he played the post as opposed to trying to be a point guard. That's what a lot of these European big men are doing now. They think they're point guards. You know, Luka, Joker, Embiid. Giannis is trying it as well. Speaking of Giannis, we'll get to that here in a moment. So I'm saying that because I'm a 76er fan. Okay? So don't hate. I'm a 76er fan. I want them to be successful. I really do. Okay? It would be nice. It's been a long time. Long time. Anyway, so that's going to be interesting. Phoenix Suns, they end up with a B. The Portland Trail Blazers with a D. The Kings, C. The Spurs, C. Raptors, B. Utah Jazz, C. The Wizards end up with a B. So I don't know if that means anything to any of you all, but I wanted to make sure that we covered that before we moved on to our NFL talk. Let's see here. Let me make sure I got everything done as far as the NBA is concerned. We talked about the trades. Oh, Doc Rivers, good gesture on his part. You know, Adrian Griffin was he was fired a couple of weeks ago, and of course, the team where you're in the standings determines who becomes the coach for the All-Star game. And because of Adrian Griffin, the Milwaukee Bucks at the time that they chose was at the top of the heap. So because Doc Rivers has taken over that job, he becomes the All-Star game coach, which is weird to say the least, okay? But be that as it may, Doc makes a good gesture and says he's going to give that check to Adrian Griffin. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hats off to you, Doc, for doing that. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to get into one other thing. And let me see if I can pull it up over here, because for whatever reasons, my tablet is not doing what it needs to do, and that annoys me when technology. Oh, a couple other things we'll get into here in just a moment. I think maybe I didn't post that. I guess I didn't. All right. So the other thing is Kobe Bryant is getting 3 statues. He's getting those dedicated. Good for Kobe. Glad to hear that. A lot of people are Kobe Bryant fans, and I got to be honest with you. It's getting on my nerves, man. Let the brother sleep. Let him sleep, okay? Will y'all let him sleep? Also, a lot of people are saying that the league is not as good as it used to be. I tend to agree, because the violations that just continually go on in this game now is just ridiculous. There was a video that I posted on my wall. This guy who was showing moves of various NBA players where they were carrying the ball, they were walking, they were taking 3, 4, 5 steps, lifting their pivot feet, things of that nature. So I agree that it's not the game that it used to be. Okay, it just isn't. And then of course they don't play defense the way they used to as well. So there you go. I don't know that this game, and I don't mean that you have to beat up someone. I don't mean that at all. I simply mean that you need to play. There's a reason you have a rule book, and you can't use the rule book one time and not use it the other time. And it's to the point now where these guys, it's just gotten terrible. It's unwatchable. And the league better do something about this. You know, you're bragging about, you had, I don't forget the stat, but you had maybe 7 or 8, 50, 60-point games in a 10, 12-year period, and just within the last month or so, you've had like 7 or 8 of them. Why is that? It doesn't make any sense. These people they're not playing any defense. It's like a game of horse now. I'm just saying. All right, so we want to get all the NBA talk out of the way, because for the rest of the show, we're going to talk NFL. There's this game going on Sunday. I don't know if you may have heard of it or not, but it is going on Sunday, and there's going to be a lot of people in Las Vegas. I heard a stat that there's going to be over 330,000 extra people in Vegas. Boy, the money's going to be flowing in Vegas. A lot of people are going to lose money. A lot of people are going to make money. And it's going to be, I'm going to be totally honest with you, this is not the weekend you need to be in Vegas, unless you have if you're there for your team. I wouldn't want to be there. The food's going to be outrageous. The hotels are going to be outrageous. If you are fortunate one, the average ticket price for the NFL big game is $9,000. You got that? You got that? Some people say, if it's my team, I'd go. if I had the money. I'd have to debate if it's the Raiders. If I had the money, I don't have $9,000 to spend on a damn football ticket. But, some people say that. So it's going to be crazy in Vegas this weekend or next weekend. What am I saying? Sunday evening. Okay? It's going to be crazy. And we're going to get into all of that here in just a moment. As I said, I'm going to give you some prop bets. I'm going to give you some things. I'm going to give you my observation on how I beat the 49ers. I'm going to give you my observations on how I beat the Chiefs. All of that is coming up here in a little bit. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the NFL honors, the awards that have been given out. All right. The Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson takes home the second AP trophy for the most valuable player. Now, the thing is, a lot of people would make designations and everybody has these different lists, but the list that matters is the AP. Okay. So the Houston Texans quarterback was named, C.J. Stroud was named the AP Offensive Rookie of the Year. Wasn't a surprise. Myles Garrett beat out T.J. Watt for the Defensive Player of the Year. Hall of Fame first-time candidate Julius Peppers headlines. So those are some names, okay? Pittsburgh Steelers Cam Hayward wins the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Congratulations to him. Let's see here. Well, I thought I had a list here, and Joe Flacco wins Comeback Player of the Year. I can't really take that from him. They say he edged him out just a little bit. That's not a bad thing. Okay. Look, CMC, you kind of expected it. He got the Offensive Player of the Year. We're gonna talk about him in a little bit. So congratulations to him. The AP Coach of the Year was Kevin Stefanski for the Cleveland Browns. Did a heck of a job. I can't say anything about that at all. Okay. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson. Man, you're talking about someone who had a heck of a draft last season. Look, I thought DeMeco Ryans might end up getting Coach of the Year, but I can't argue with Kevin Stefanski. But what DeMeco Ryans did with a rookie quarterback, a rookie defensive star, and him being a rookie was unbelievable. We talked about Myles Garrett winning the Defensive Player of the Year. Congratulations to him. Let's see what else. We talked about C.J. Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year. AP Assistant Coach of the Year, Browns Defensive Coordinator Jim Schwartz. Man, do I know a lot about Jim Schwartz. Covered him a lot while I covered the Tennessee Titans back in the day. He's been in this game a long time. I'm going to be totally honest. You get awards by longevity. He's certainly getting that because I've never looked at him as a great defensive coach. There's a reason, and I've never really looked at him as a great coach. There's a reason why he never gets a head coaching job. No offense. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. But congratulations to all that got those awards. But Lamar Jackson certainly deserved it. You got to take your hats off to the Kansas City Chiefs, whom we'll talk about here in just a moment, for putting in a game plan that the Ravens were apparently not prepared for. But it's time for him to make the next step. And if the Ravens do what they need to do, then they'll go ahead and get him some receivers. By the way, Zay Jones was allegedly in a DV situation a couple of days ago. We'll follow up and see what that's all about. But you certainly don't want your upcoming receiver, young star, to start making mistakes that's going to take away from your concentration on the field. But the Ravens, congratulations to Lamar Jackson. Many wish that this game on tomorrow night was going to be him leading the helm, but it wasn't to be. You can't You can't deny what Patrick Mahomes is and what he's able to do. He's a bad man. Okay? And we'll talk a little bit more about Patrick Mahomes. I saw some stuff about him when he was growing up. This guy was a phenomenal athlete. And as a matter of fact, we may talk about this here in the next break as we head into the football talk of the big game. But we're going to talk a little bit about him and just how good he was, and probably could have played football, basketball, or baseball and chose football for whatever reasons. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about this stupidity where Travis Kelce. And look, I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now. Let's do it now. So some white barber designated the fade. Travis Kelce made the fade. And a lot of people are laughing because white people didn't have fades. Are y'all serious? That you would... So they're gentrifying black haircuts now. That was what was said. I thought that was fantastic. You know, Travis Kelce gets a fade haircut, and now all of a sudden, it was created by white people. No, I'm sorry. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more. I'm going to talk a little bit about Beyonce and Taylor Swift. Okay? Because all of this is surrounding the Super Bowl. And, Usher is going to be the halftime entertainment. Are you going to watch? Do you care? Y'all, okay. I'll save that for later. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave on JoinetRadio.com.
Ladies, are you looking for high quality, natural products for your skin and soul? Skin Intentional is for you. We feature handcrafted, luxurious, natural baths and body care products. At Skin Intentional, we firmly believe that self-care should be an intentional and enjoyable experience. We strive to infuse every product with a sense of fun and purpose. Crafting each item with love and care, we take pride in selecting only the finest natural ingredients. From luscious shea butter to revitalizing essential oils, every element is carefully chosen to protect, restore, and enhance your skin's natural beauty. We provide skincare specifically with you in mind. Try our soaps, scrubs, and facial oils for children and adults. Skin Intentional has something for the whole family, including the man in your life. Self-care should be an intentional and joyous experience for all. Go to SkinIntentional.com right now for great discounts and begin experiencing what skincare products should be.
Bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh yeah, at RealRub.com. Holman's Dynamic Pepper Juice is lighting fires around the country. It's the new product from RealRub.com. Use it on meats and vegetables. Add it to your gumbos and greens for an extra punch. Made with all natural ingredients, Coleman's Dynamic Pepper Juice will enhance the flavors of your favorite recipes. Order today on RealRub.com. And while there, be sure to check out some of our other great products. It's developed with love and care using the best all-natural ingredients with no GMOs or preservatives. From snacks to seasonings, Coleman's Dynamic Products has something for everyone. Bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh yeah, at RealRub.com.
LeBron James is the greatest player we've seen this generation. You have to be careful when you start saying, and so, well, he wasn't as good as Michael, or he wasn't as good as Magic. Every generation you get that. You begin to sound like that old man that lives down the street, and every time you walk on his yard or you even walk by his yard, he's on the porch and he's got that little crooked finger. He's like, get off my lawn! Get off my lawn!
Join me Saturday mornings at 8 for the Weekly Sports Magazine on JoinetRadio.com.
Get off my lawn!
All right, welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. We're talking all things football right now because of the big game. And we've got to talk about this Taylor Swift thing because I'm a little annoyed with Taylor Swift. Look, good lady, pays her people, all of that stuff. But the hype is just killing me. Let me ask you a question. Okay? I don't care if it's Beyonce or Taylor Swift. I don't want to hear this crap. especially leading up to a game. All right? So I'm going to ask you a question. Is Taylor Swift or Beyonce, because you got the what do they call them? The beeswax? Okay, send me an email. Okay, go ahead. I got something for y'all. Okay? And then you got the Swift boaters. I don't know. I don't care. The Beehive, that's what they call them, and the Swifties. I'm sorry. I don't understand this fascination with either one of them. I mean, they're decent artists. Are they great artists? Okay? I'm going to name you some artists. Is Beyonce better than Michael Jackson? Is Beyonce better than Stevie Wonder? Well, let me take this. Taylor Swift or Beyonce. Okay? Now check this out. Taylor Swift has more Album of the Year Grammys than Stevie Wonder. Listen to this. Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Aretha Franklin, Janet Jackson, Etta James, James Brown, B.B. King, Nat King Cole, and Natalie Cole. Okay? Huh? Is she better than any of those people that I just named? It's about a hype thing, okay? Same with Beyonce. So we're going to hear a lot about Taylor Swift at this game. It's going to get on my nerves. But I just want to throw that out there. And a lot of people don't understand why it is annoying to us, and it is annoying to us. Okay? It is annoying. I'm just letting you know. By the way, I forgot, last break I was supposed to give you another party food, so let me go ahead and do that for you. Quesadillas, chicken quesadillas. All right? Go get you some thigh meat and marinate them for about 30 minutes in some lime juice and some seasoning, a little chili powder, a little cumin. Not a lot. Just marinate and let them marinate in their own juices. Maybe a little extra virgin olive oil. Throw them suckers on the grill or in a hot skillet and let them cook through, right? Yeah. Get you some soft tortillas. Now remember that guacamole and salsa that I told you to make earlier in the show? So now you get this, you need a hot skillet, dust those tortillas with a little olive oil, drop them in that skillet. You need a little cheese, your favorite cheddar, Monterey Jack, whatever you like, throw it in that quesadilla. If you really want to get fancy, get you some onions and some bell peppers, chop them up, throw them in that quesadilla. Toast them off first, throw them in that quesadilla. Put that cheese in, chop that chicken up, put some chicken in there, put another tortilla on it, flip them over, let it cook through, cut them in quarters, man. Throw some of that guacamole and salsa that I just told you about on them, and man, you eating good. You eating good. Okay? So, there you have it. A lot of stuff to talk about today. We got fun stuff coming up here next hour, so y'all stick and stay for that. Let's see what else. Oh, let me do this. Let me go out here and start looking at. We're gonna look more at the prop bets. I think let's see here. Yeah. All right. So here's some interesting prop bets. Here are 25 of them. I'm gonna give you 25 down to 1. I'll give you 5 of them right now. Positions of the Super Bowl MVP. Will it be quarterback or any other position? Typically, it's the quarterback. Doesn't mean that he plays a great game, but for whatever reasons, there's a love affair with quarterbacks, and people think that they ought to get every award. When I remember when Peyton Manning, they were trying to figure out a way to, when the Broncos won last, they were trying to figure out a way to Peyton Manning won the MVP, although he played horribly. Okay? Here's another one. Gatorade bath color. Will it be water, clear, orange, or any other color? You can actually put money on this, folks. Will it be green? Will it be blue? And that's not even asking that. Will it be orange, clear, or water. So you've got the field there with any other color that you might want to choose. You know, they make blue great away. You know, Gatorade used to be green. And it was a trip because when we started getting the other colors, you're like, man, we need to get some of that orange Gatorade, man. Or that lemon grade, man. We don't want no more of that lemon Gatorade, you know, whatever. It's all the same. All right. Here's another one. Will there be a missed extra point or 2-point conversion? Yes or no? I'm going to say yes. You got a 50-50 shot there. And the way the 49ers kicker's been kicking, I would say yes. Okay? Number of challenges initiated by coaches, over under 1.5. I'd say I'd take that. Yeah. I'd take that. All right? Total turnovers, over under 2.5. You know, these teams don't turn the ball over a lot. Although I think the Chiefs are going to put a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy. You know what? I would probably take the over on that. Okay? So that's the bottom 5. That's the bottom 5. All right? Now, the other thing, so I want you to, since we got a few more minutes, we got about a minute, let me tell you something else that you need to get for the party. You need some spirits, little fruit juice. I'll just leave it at that. Definitely need some of that. All right, and also in the meantime, get you some. You know what I'm talking about. We're gonna get into the chicken wings. You definitely need some chicken wings and some barbecue sauce, some hot wings, some regular wings. Did I hear or did I see that they were going to sell over 1 billion chicken wings for tomorrow's game? 1 billion chicken wings. Is it that many chickens? I mean, when do we run out of chickens? Because you already got Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, KFC, everybody and their mama selling chicken wings everywhere. And they're going to sell just on tomorrow over 1 billion chicken wings. Damn. Man, that's a lot of food just for chicken wings. You know, everybody has their own chicken wings. What I would advise you to do is, it's too late now, but get you some Coleman's down there with rib rub next time. Marinate those chicken wings in that rib rub. Throw them on the grill, then get you some of that rib juice. And don't forget about the pepper juice either. And man, you and High Cotton, we're going to talk more about that as we move forward. Make sure you listen to these spots as well. Support our sponsors. Okay? We got to take the top of the hour break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you how you're going to beat the 49ers. We're going to give you some more prop bets. I'm going to give you some more foods to eat as well. I'm going to tell you how to beat the Chiefs. Fun show coming up. It's big game Saturday. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave on JoyNetRadio.com.
It's time for the Weekly Sports Page with the dynamic David Coleman. Stay tuned for thrills, chills, and yes, spills. Oh yeah, and a whole lot of other great stuff. Call 855-525-5683. Tweet your questions at Dynamic Sports PA or Facebook. Drop a line on Dynamic Weekly Sports Show. Sit back, relax, and groove while Dynamic drops sports in your ear hole.
Nebraska wins the game on the final play of the contest. Oh, baby! How about that? Jacked up indeed.
Are you kidding me?
They're not gonna keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow!
Now here's Dynamic David Coleman.
All right, welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave here on JoyNetRadio.com. We're sitting here, we're talking about the game that's going to take place on Monday. We've got a lot of stuff that we've thrown out there already today. It's going to be a fun game. It ought to be an interesting game to say the least. A lot of times you get all this hype, and then the NFL, the Super Bowl is like a dud. I think there's only been like 7 games where they've been within 7 points or something like that, but it hadn't been a lot of them. So we're going to break it all down here in just a moment. One of the things that I'm going to do is tell you how you're going to beat the Chiefs. And then the other thing I'm going to tell you how to do is beat the 49ers. Then you can take it from there. Okay. One other thing about this Beyonce and Taylor Swift thing that I forgot. If you that list of stars that I just talked about, is any one of them better than anybody on that list? And by the way, the halftime performance by Usher, I know a lot of you young people are gonna go crazy, but I told you all years ago that after they had Prince, they need to stop doing halftime shows. No one else will ever compare. Nothing compares to you, your raw badness. Anyway, all right. So that's what we're going to talk about this hour. So we got some prop bets that we're going to do here in just a moment. We're going to give you some more of those. Just want to make sure that I went through, and because we're going to get into this heavily. Chiefs are favored by, the 49ers are favored by 2 points. That really just boggles my mind. One of the other things that you need to have for your party is a cheese ball. Get you some cream cheese, get you some sausage, cook all that up. Maybe get you a little ground beef, get you some garlic, cook all that up, chop it up real small, okay? Then take that meat that you cook, make sure it's cooled, by the way, and make sure you drain it, and mix it into that cheese and make a ball. And if you really want to be bold, chop up some pecans and roll that cheese ball on the outside until the pecans are all over the cheese ball. And then get you some crackers, like some club crackers or some Ritz crackers. Spread it around that cheese ball. Make me lick my lips. So we're talking about food. Yeah. It's the second hour of the weekly sports magazine, and what I'm doing here is giving you prop bets and giving you some foods that I would eat. And since we're talking about cheese, let me go ahead and throw in a cheese dip. You know, whatever cheese you want. Let me just give you a little advice. Y'all might want to steer away from the pre-shredded cheese. Y'all do know it has cellulose in it, right? That's wood fibers. I try to get my cheese and grind it myself. I know and by the way, if you buy your cheese in a block, you save money. Think about that. You do. But anyway, get your favorite cheese, get you some milk. And look, I'm doing dips right now. Okay. Ooh, I just thought about it. How about a mango salsa dip? Yeah. Get you some mangoes and chop them up. Get you that cilantro that you have left over from the salsa. Yeah. Get you a jalapeno. Get you a red onion. That other part of the red onion that you put in the guacamole. See how I'm using all this stuff? Put that in chop it up fine and put that in your mango salsa. Yeah. Ooh, it's really, really good. Okay. All right, so that's your salsa. You got 2 of them now. You got a cheese ball. You got some cheese dip. Don't forget about the spinach artichoke. Yeah. You want Monterey Jack for that. Get you some spinach. I like fresh spinach myself. But hey, you can get the frozen spinach. Chop it up. Saute it down. Drain it. Okay. Throw that Monterey Jack on the stove. Jalapeno. Lime juice. Okay. Get you some artichokes. Chop them up. Little chicken stock. Throw that on the stove. Let it melt down. Hey. That's your That's your spinach artichoke, dude. Okay? There you go. So, anyway, give you a couple prop bets, and then we're going to get into how I think you're going to beat the 49ers. And then we'll tell you how I think you're going to beat the Chiefs. So, here are some prop bets. We're going to give you 5 more. Number 20 is total quarterback sacks, over under 4.5. What you think? Team with the longest TD, 49ers or the Chiefs? Who's going to have the longest TD? I would probably say the 49ers, because the 49ers do try to throw the ball down the field and they have better receivers. I would give that to the 49ers. As far as total turnovers, I don't know. 2.5, I don't know. Total quarterback sacks, over and under, that's for both teams. I could say that's an over. I think that'll be above 4.5. I think both teams are going to get to the quarterback. They're going to have to. Because I think the Chiefs are going to put pressure on Brock Purdy. They're going to employ the same type of game plan that they used against Lamar Jackson. I'm getting to that. Just hang on a minute. All right. Let's see what else. Longest TD, like I said, I think it will be the 49ers. Length of longest TD in yards, over under 44. I'd probably take the under on that. Let's see. Team with the longest successful field goal, 49ers or the Chiefs. I'm going to say the Chiefs because the Chiefs have a better field goal kicker. That's what I'll say with that. Also, let's see. The team, let's see. Length of longest successful field goal in yards. So there are some more prop bets for you. All right. So let me talk a little bit this segment about how you beat the 49ers. If I'm the Chiefs, and I'm not, but just using my football knowledge. Here's the one thing that I've been fascinated, and as I've watched the 49ers over the last couple of years, especially the way the offenses ran. They dink and dunk. Now, they'll go downfield on you every now and then, but they dink and dunk. They run a lot of crossing patterns. They run a lot of outs, things of that nature, but they like to throw the ball in the middle of the field. That tells me a lot that the quarterback, they do that, in my opinion, to make the quarterback comfortable. It's easier to hit those crossing patterns as opposed to going down the field. Although they've got some very, very capable receivers in Samuel and Ayuk that can make that happen. Okay, George Kittle is another one. He's good for 20, 25 yards. Heck of a tight end. But here's the thing. I think the straw that stirs the drink for the 49ers are 2 people. And I know Christian McCaffrey got the AP player of offensive player of the year, and that's fine. I don't have anything against that. But I'm going to tell you, the guy that really stirs the drink, that gives it a little kick, is Deebo Samuel. So if I'm the Chiefs, who do I want to stop? Because is it Deebo Samuels or is it Christian McCaffrey? And I'm going to tell you why. Because what we're seeing that nobody is paying attention to really is teams are beginning to run the football again. And when you look at Christian McCaffrey, by the way, is a everything back. You got to stop him. So, and what I mean by stop him, you cannot let him get 4 and 5 yards per carry. Dude is a beast. He's a bad boy. So what do? How do you stop him? I think you got to put pressure on the line of scrimmage. You got to do exactly what you did with the Ravens, is as opposed to this being a running back, a quarterback who run the ball, you got to put extra people in the block to make the box to make sure that Christian McCaffrey does not run crazy. Over and under. This is just me throwing it out. It might be on this list, but does Christian McCaffrey have 60 plus yards? Let me tell you this. If he has 60 and above, I think the Chiefs are going to have some problems. Okay? And you combine that with his receiving as well. Ooh, Christian McCaffrey is an old school running back. You know, back in the day, not only did they run the ball, but they caught the ball. They blocked. This is why I've been saying for years that pound for pound, the best athlete on any football team is always the running back. Always. He's literally getting hit every play. He's pass blocking. He's going out for passes, and if he runs through the middle of the line, he's going to get checked by a linebacker, check the back before he goes out. He catches passes. He's running the ball, and he's getting hit by 2 and 3 people every play, particularly if he runs the ball. The best athlete on the field week in and week out is the running back. And it amazes me how they've discounted the running back position so much. With all of that being said, Christian McCaffrey is one of those backs. The types of backs that I grew up with in my era that did it all. He's a throwback back. So what can you do? How do you stop someone like that? You got to put a spy on him every play. You got to have someone assigned to him. He's their assignment, but any defensive linemen and linebackers, you have got to be spying Christian McCaffrey. You have to take him out of the game. If you do not take McCaffrey out of the game, it's going to be a long night. Now, here's the thing. 49ers have gotten down in the 2 previous games and had to battle back. If they do that against the Chiefs, I would be surprised. You cannot get down early. But if you're the Chiefs, you want to make Brock Purdy beat you. That's the key. You got to make Brock Purdy beat you. Okay? So what do? You take away Christian McCaffrey and you crowd the line of scrimmage. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, but David, there's a flaw in your logic. In fact, there are 2 flaws in my logic. Maybe 2.5. I'm going to tell you who they are. I did say they. One of them is Brandon Ayuk. You're going to cover him one-on-one. You're going to be one of the better defenses. In fact, this defense is one of the best defenses Kansas City has seen in some time. It's certainly better than the team last year. So Brandon Ayuk is going to be a problem. Deebo Samuel is going to be a problem. Okay? He's going to be a problem. George Kittle is going to be a problem. So what do? You got to cover those guys one-on-one. Can you do it? You probably need to mix up zone. But mainly you got to be one-on-one because you got to make sure that Christian McCaffrey doesn't beat you. And you got to make sure that you make Brock Purdy throw the ball down the field. The problem is if you're going to be one-on-one with those receivers, there are going to be a lot of pick routes and so on and so forth. We see this all the time. Those guys are going to get open. So when they get open and they catch the ball, there's one other thing that you're going to need to do, Kansas City, if you're going to beat the 49ers, is that you're going to have to tackle in space. Hello? What killed Detroit 2 weeks ago? You were missing open field tackles. You got to tackle in space. And you got to be able to get Deebo Samuel on the ground when he catches the ball. You got to be able to get Christian McCaffrey on the ground when he catches the ball. Sounds simple, doesn't it? So here's my game plan. To beat the 49ers, I take out Christian McCaffrey. Okay? That's my game plan. The second person I cannot let Deebo Samuels run wild. So we need to pay attention and make sure that if he lines up in the backfield, we're going to treat him like Christian McCaffrey. Now, if they both are on the field, I'm going to defer to Christian McCaffrey because my game plan is to take him out of the game. That's my game plan. Anytime he's on the field, I'm spying Christian McCaffrey. And then when he goes to halftime and he opens his locker, I'm sitting there saying, "What's up, man? I'm just spying you." He's going to be sick of seeing me. That's how you're going to beat them. You can't give up big plays either. If you're the defense that we saw last week, and you're the defense that people are saying that, oh, this is a better defense, and it's scary to think that they are, then what you've got to do is take one, maybe two people out of the game. Those two people, primary is Christian McCaffrey. Secondary is Deebo Samuel. Tertiary, believe it or not, is George Kittle. George Kittle. That's what I do. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. You say, well, they did it against Baltimore, but here's the difference in the two teams. Baltimore don't have the receivers that the 49ers have. That's Baltimore's Achilles heel. People want to blame Lamar Jackson for that loss. And he didn't play well, but damn, he didn't have anybody to throw to. And as a matter of fact, he hasn't had anyone to throw to in a few years now. So now it becomes a little more complicated because Deebo Samuels is going to get open. Brandon Ayuk is going to get open. Okay? George Kittle is going to get open. The question is, can you put enough pressure on Brock Purdy? Because I said that's the key was Christian McCaffrey. But what that means is that if you take his favorite players out, where does he go? And then you put pressure on him. Where does he go? Can he handle the pressure? That's the question. I don't think he can because he gets frustrated. Was it the Detroit game or the Green Bay game? It was the Green Bay game where the first play of the series, he almost threw a pick six. Got away with it. So that's what I'm saying. You take McCaffrey out, limit Deebo Samuels, and make Brock Purdy beat you with his arm. And cover across the middle. Because they're going to dink and dunk you. They'll go down the field every now and then with Ayuk. But if you're rushing 5 and 6 guys the way you were with Baltimore, then he's not going to have time to wait on those routes. And your secondary is going to have to play. If you follow that formula, you win. Hands down. The question is, can you follow that formula? You know, was it Mike Tyson who said, everybody always has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. If you get hit in the mouth early, what do? I think adjustments are going to be huge as well. Who's going to make the adjustments? You're going to need to do that. I believe that the 49ers can't afford to get behind early. I think the 49ers are going to have to basically trade blow for blow. If I look at the quarterbacks, and we'll talk about this here a little later on, you got to give it to Patrick Mahomes. So that's why I think this game plan will work great. I think it'll be perfect. The question is, will it? Let's give you some more prop bets before we go to the break. Travis Kelce receiving yards. That's where it just says Travis Kelce receiving yards. George Kittle receiving yards. Patrick Mahomes passing yards and Brock Purdy passing yards. Will a team score 3 consecutive times, not including PATs, yes or no? So that means you can kick a field goal, and score a touchdown. Or you can score 3 touchdowns. Or you can score 2 touchdowns and a field goal. That's a prop bet. Okay? We're in the top 10 now. We'll do those here in just a little bit. Later on in the show, I'm going to give you my picks. Coming up here in just a moment, we're going to talk about how you beat the Chiefs. Whew. It's going to be tough. I wonder if Patrick Mahomes is wondering, well, you know, Lamar got the MVP, but I'm getting ready to win another Super Bowl. In the grand scheme of things, does the MVP really matter if you can't win a ring? Good question. Darn good question. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with me. If you'd like to join the show, send me an email at weeklysportsmagazine@gmail.com. That's how you can reach out to me. If you got a sports topic, if you'd like to advertise on the show, definitely reach out to me as well. All right, so let's take a break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you how to beat the Chiefs. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave. We're here every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. on JoinNetRadio.com. Hey, beautiful. You look gorgeous. Are you doing something different? There's a healthy glow about you.
Thanks. I'm just my natural self.
Come on. What's your secret?
Okay. Since I found SkinTentional.com, I've been getting a lot of those comments.
SkinTentional.com?
Yes. SkinTentional.com is handcrafted, luxurious natural baths and body care products. Crafted for those with a designer's taste for high-quality skincare products but won't break your bank. From body butter to oils and soaps, SkinTentional has something for everyone, including the man in your life. Get your man some beard balm and oils. And yes, they offer body butters and soap for him as well, without making him smell like flowers. Go to SkinTentional.com and check out their amazing products. They believe self-care should be an intentional and joyous experience for all. SkinTentional.com.
Business owner, can I talk to you for a moment? How many people have come up to you and said, hey, I didn't know you had a business? Yeah, that can happen when you don't advertise. I have a solution for you. Advertise on JoinNetRadio.com and let the world know that you're in business. I know what you're thinking. Advertising is so expensive. I've got a great package for you that will cut your expense and increase your bottom line. It's only $125 for startup and new businesses. Call me, David W. Coleman, at 615-554-0568, and I'll put together a package specifically for your business. Now is the time to tell the world, hey, I'm in business. Come spend your money on quality goods in my store. Let us help you at JoinNetRadio.com. Here's the number. Call me, 615-554-0568. We are here to assist you in building your brand. Coleman's Dynamic Products would like to thank you for all the support you've given us over the years. Our growth could not have happened without your purchases and word of mouth to your friends and family. That says you believe and trust us to provide Coleman's Dynamic Products with no fillers and all natural ingredients. We began with our flagship product, Rib Rub, and now it has expanded into snacks, seasonings, salts, rib juice, and pepper juice. We could not have done it without you. I'm David W. Coleman, founder and president, and I want to personally thank you for the encouraging words and support. Coleman's Dynamic Products will continue to be the best dry marinades, seasonings, and sauces you've ever put in your mouth. That's ribrub.com, RIBBRUBB. And you know what we like to say, bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh, yeah. All right, welcome back to the show, the Weekly Sports Magazine. Dynamic Dave in the house. We're talking big game stuff today. Big game tomorrow. I know a lot of people are going to be, you know, they might try to make the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, I can't say that word. They might want to try to make the big game the day after a national holiday. If you're smart,
You don't even go to work on that day. I know someone who purposely took off because of this game. So we're doing prop bets. And oh, by the way, I've been telling you about food. You got to have some sandwiches, some meat. You can do burger sliders. I tell you what, if you use Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub, mix it up in your ground beef and put it on the grill, man, you got a hell of a burger. I'm gonna tell you like that. All right. You might want to do some beer butt chicken. Take some Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub, put some beer butt chicken, put some of that rub inside of the canter that you put the chicken on top. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that. Stick that chicken on the grill, let that sucker steam. That's one of the best chickens you ever eat. Yes. Or let's see what else. If you really are adventurous, you started that brisket last night. Or maybe you started it early today and it's going to cook for about 12, 13 hours. Of course, you spread some of that Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub all over that brisket and put it in that smoker, and it's going to smoke for 12, 13 hours. When it comes out, I tell you what, let me give you this slaw that's going to boggle your mind. All right? Get you some slaw, just some cut up cabbage. If you don't make it, I like to, get a whole cabbage and do my own. But if you don't want to do that, get your slaw bag. Make sure you wash it and rinse it real good, okay? Get your jalapeno, chop it up, put it in your slaw. Get you some tomatoes, chop it up, put it in the slaw, okay? Get you some malt vinegar, chop it up, put it in the slaw. Season with salt and pepper, a little garlic, little onion powder. You might want to chop up an onion and put in there, but if you don't want to go that route, just use some onion powder and some garlic powder. Put it in the slaw. Get you a tablespoon of sugar. Put it in the slaw. You'll thank me later. Because you're going to put that slaw on that brisket or them grilled burgers or that chicken sandwich. No, you don't need no You want to do everything grilled. This game is a grill thing. They want to grill that chicken, chop it up, get you some mayo, put that slaw on that chicken sandwich. I'm telling you, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. Okay? So, I want to talk this segment about how you beat the Chiefs. Man, I saw this piece with Patrick Mahomes. And it's amazing. I did not realize this, and I saw this the other day. Patrick Mahomes was a 3-star athlete in high school. When he played baseball, one of his teammates said he only saw Patrick Mahomes strike out like twice. That's unbelievable. Of course, his dad was a Major League Baseball player, so you could understand how he developed a great eye. And you would tend to believe that he would have wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and play baseball. He didn't. He didn't. He was also an excellent basketball player. He was a 3-sport star. His junior year, they said he threw for over, I think they say close to 3,800 yards and 35, 36 touchdowns. His junior year in high school. His senior year, he threw for 50 touchdowns, over 5,000 yards. His senior year. Now, here's the kicker that really boggled my mind. Patrick Mahomes, when he came out of high school, was only a 3-star player. And he only got 3 offers. One was to Rice, the other was to Houston, and the last one was to Texas Tech. Cliff Kingsbury was the coach. He's been riding Patrick Mahomes' legacy ever since. He goes to Texas Tech. He throws the ball around a lot. He puts up a lot of numbers. They don't really win. That's why when people were complaining about Kingsbury, look, he's now at the Commanders. I'm glad I didn't want him as the offensive coordinator for the Raiders anyway, me being a Raiders fan. But I digress. He gets drafted, and the rest is history. And here's the one thing that he said. And let me just go off on a tangent here for a moment. When I was growing up, we played every sport. We played baseball. We played football. We played basketball. It just so happens that my two favorite was baseball and football. I was okay in basketball, but I didn't play on a team in high school. My first love was baseball, and I won't bore you with the details on why I ended up playing football. Should have probably stayed in baseball. But here's the point. We played everything. Soon after, I guess 5 or 6 years later, coaches began to segregate their players. And what I mean by that is demand that they play one sport, whether it's football or baseball. You know why I love Shohei Ohtani? Because he can do everything. Back in the day when we played baseball, if you pitched, you didn't come out of the game because you were a good stick. So they needed you in the lineup to bat. So you just go to another position, and that person that you're pulling out of the game may not be as good as you, or he wasn't as good as you. Okay? So you learned different skills on how to do different things because you crossed over into different sports. Had a baseball coach who said football players didn't have good hand-eye coordination. That was the beginning of him running football players out of the baseball league, and that's another story. So you're probably saying, well, why am I telling you this story? Well, you're supposed to be telling me how the 49ers are going to beat the Chiefs. It's going to be tough. But I wanted to tell you that story because Patrick Mahomes said one thing. He said because he played all of those sports, it afforded him a means by which he could make plays differently than others. Here's his point. He played shortstop. Okay? So he said he was used to contorting his body and throwing the baseball in all kinds of ways and all kinds of arm angles that most people would not be able to do so. And we see him doing that all the time. And we're amazed at it, and no one really understands why Mahomes is able to do it and no one else is. That's because he trained his arm playing baseball. Excuse me. Now, I say all of that to say this. For the 49ers to beat the Chiefs, it's gonna be tough. So, if I'm the 49ers, what do? I'm considered a team that has some pretty good linebackers, some pretty good rush ends, but they have been mediocre at best this year. Chase Young, hadn't done what I expect. When they got him, I was like, shoo, Lord. Hadn't really panned out. But if you are the 49ers and you're planning to beat the Chiefs, you're going to have to get to Mahomes. You're going to have to. You're going to, just like you're going to make Brock Purdy uncomfortable, you got to make Mahomes uncomfortable. The problem is he's been there. He's done that. He knows the pressure. It's going to be a little difficult for you to do that. Plus, you got two great linebackers. But not just making or giving pressure to Mahomes. That's a given. Every team has one guy that you need to stop. Who do you think that is on the Kansas City Chiefs? Is it Pacheco? Is it one of those, whoever they are, receivers? No. It's Travis Kelce. He's the straw that stirs the drink. Or let me put it this way. Yeah. He's the straw that serves the drink. That Mahomes just stirred. In the Ravens game, one of the things that was annoying to me as we watched that game, now certainly the Ravens defense played great in the second half, but in the first half, Mahomes made him look bad. And one of those things that he was doing was eating them alive with Travis Kelce. I was sitting there with my son saying, what kind of game plan is this? You have to take Travis Kelce out of the equation. You have to double team him. You have to. He's just as dynamic as a receiver, as a wide receiver. And when you notice, when that team gets to clicking, Travis Kelce is in the mix. He's a problem. He's a problem. And Patrick Mahomes doesn't mind throwing the ball to him. It's a problem. So if I'm the 49ers, I got to double team Travis Kelce. I don't care where he is on the field. I got to double team him. I got to make some of those other guys beat me. Can they beat me? Is the question. You cannot go into this game thinking that you're going to let Travis Kelce. If Travis Kelce has over 6 or 7 receptions, then the 49ers are in trouble. Okay? Let's just be real about that. If he has over 6 or 7 receptions, the 49ers are in trouble. You gotta make those other guys beat you. You know, those guys like Rashee Rice. Okay? You gotta make them beat you. Justin Watson. Who is that? Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I mean, Kadarius Toney, McCole Hardman. Look, these people, these are not big name receivers here. Travis Kelce is. Here's the other thing that I find interesting in this game. Isaiah Pacheco has been running the ball really well. I say the same thing that I said about McCaffrey. If the Chiefs can run the ball, 49ers are going to be in trouble. And I think they're going to be able to run the ball. They've been able to run the ball all year long. If the Chiefs can run the ball, 49ers are in trouble. And you're going to have to deal with Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming out of the backfield as well. It's going to be tough. But you got to take care of Travis Kelce. I would argue that if the 49ers end up winning this game, I'm going to come back next Saturday and say they took out Travis Kelce. You hold Travis Kelce to 3 receptions. Now, unless they're like 3-yard touchdowns. But 3 receptions overall, I think you've done a good job. And the 49ers may be walking home with the victory. Can't say that for sure. But you're going to have to take out Chelsea. Your primary person has got to be Kelce. Your secondary person has got to be Isaiah Pacheco. As I said earlier, it's amazing to me that everybody gets caught up in these wide receivers and these quarterbacks. But look at the 2 teams that are here today. They run the damn football. Go back and look at Detroit. What did they do? They run the football and play defense. So did so did Green Bay. Hello? What doomed the Bills is the fact that they couldn't play defense. Although their running back was mainly their quarterback in Josh Allen. So the question you got to start asking yourself at this point, if you're the 49ers, pick your poison. And who would that be? Who's more important to stop? I'm going to say old school football, the running game. That you can do two things. You can double team Chelsea on pass plays, and you can crowd the box on rundowns. The key is, if you go one-on-one with Kelsey and Mahomes realizes, you're looking at a big play. It's a dilemma, folks. Many people are expecting this game to be one of the best games that we've ever seen. That's what they're saying. That's what the pundits are saying. I would argue the same. Based on what we know about these teams, both of these teams have good running backs. They have good quarterbacks. So let me look at it this way. And I tell you what, I'm going to break it down on both of these teams on why I think one team will win over the other. Because it's going to be interesting when you compare the squads. And I'm going to give you my pick. Now, before we go to break, I want to give you something else. So we talked about the brisket. Let's see what else. Of course, the traditional chips. You got to have all those. You got to have some desserts. So you might want to get some big game cupcakes or something like that if you are one of those people like me who like to make everything. I'm making a sweet potato pecan pie. See how it made me lick my lips just thinking about it. Man, I'm making one of those. Ooh, yeah. That's what I'm making. That's the dessert. You might want to make a German chocolate cake or vanilla cake. Typically, there's a football cake somewhere around. Someone has a football cake. Okay. Then you can make your favorite beverages. So here's something that my mom used to make. I just thought about this. I haven't made this in years. Get you some frozen juice. Lime juice, lemon juice, orange juice. If you got one that's a fruit medley, get that too. Y'all do know juice comes in these frozen containers. I think they still do. I gotta go and look. Now that I think about it, I think they still do. Then get you some of these mixed berries that are frozen. Okay? Get your juice and mix them all into one container. Add your water to whatever you want. Okay? Then take that frozen fruit juice, and if you don't want to do the frozen fruit juice, get fresh fruit like oranges, cherries, apple slices, all of this stuff. This is kind of like a fruit sangria, but it's for kids can drink this as well. I just thought of another one that I'm going to add to this list here in just a moment. Pour that fruit in there, mix it all up, and then just before you serve it, get you a Sprite and pour the Sprite in there. Or better still, when they get a cup, put the Sprite in the bottom and then fill it up with the juice. It'll blow your mind, bro. That's an old school fruit punch. All right. When we come back, I'm gonna give you my picks. I'm gonna compare both teams, and then we'll be done for the day. And I'm also gonna give you another dessert recipe. It's called frappe. We'll take our last break. Picks coming up here in just a moment. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave on JournetRadio.com.
Hi, I'm David W. Coleman, host of Black Focus Radio and the Weekly Sports Magazine. We here at JournetRadio.com would like to thank you for all the love and support you've given us. Our goal is to keep you inspired and informed daily with quality programming from gospel music, news, talk, and sports. Log on to JournetRadio.com for the program lineup, and while there, be sure to make a donation. Then download our app and carry us anywhere in the world. Please continue to spread the word about JournetRadio.com. And if you are an entrepreneur or have an upcoming event or you'd like to start a show, let the professional writers and producers here at JournetRadio.com help you get the word out. Call me at 615-554-0568 for more details. In the meantime, stay informed and inspired daily right here on JournetRadio.com.
David W. Coleman here for Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub and Rib Nuts. Go to ribrub.com, that's RIBBRUBB.com right now, and stock up on the best dry marinades for baking, grilling, and smoking your favorite meats. 3 great flavors, hot and spicy, original, and scorching. Try them at your next cookout and you will shout, bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah! Only one place to get Coleman's Dynamic products, that's ribrub.com. Easy to order, and I'll ship direct to you or to friends and family anywhere in the United States. While on the site, be sure to check out other great items, especially the rib nuts. Who'd have thunk it? Peanuts sauteed in a barbecue marinade? That's just crazy good. Get them at ribrub.com right now, along with other great recipes. That's ribrub.com. If you don't like my rib rub or rib nuts, I'll give you money back. Do it today. That's Coleman's Dynamic Products at ribrub.com.
Listen.
Did you miss Dr. Ernest Gill from UT San Antonio?
When you're making $455 million off these student athletes, and all you can come up with is $5,000, John Calipari makes $8 million a year, and his players are going to get $5,000 a year. The majority of these teams were white men and white males and females. Would this be happening? And I would say no, because their families wouldn't let it happen. But we're letting our kids get pimped.
Join the Weekly Sports Magazine every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. on JournetRadio.com.
All right, welcome back to the last segment of the show. This is the one where we pick the game, who I think is going to win. We'll do that here in just a moment, but I promised you I got one other drink that you're going to love, and it's one that we grew up with. I don't know about y'all, but I had a mother who was an usher. She was the president of the usher board, and in order to raise money, the usher board had what they called teas, and quite often I would have to sing at these teas. And one of the things that they would serve would be hot tea, what we called Russian tea. Okay. The other thing that they would serve, and they would have this long table, they'd have the little fruit and cookies and stuff in the middle. And on one end, they would have the Russian tea, which I still make today. And then on the other end, they would have something called fry pay. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to get to the picks in just a moment. We're going to do these prop bets too, but I got to do this. Okay, just indulge me just a moment. It just hit me. Okay. All right. Let me see if it'll come up. What is the drink called fry pay? Okay, so there is actually a drink called fry pay. Really? Well, this wasn't alcohol. This was sherbet and ginger ale. You soften up some sherbet, and then you pour the ginger ale on it, and you mix it up. Man, it made one of the best drinks. Oh, cool, tangy. You'd either get one week you get the lime sherbet, then the next time you get the orange sherbet. The lime and orange was always the best. Then you get the pineapple sherbet. Oh man, I love sherbet. I haven't had sherbet in years. I'm gonna have to go out and buy some. But anyway, so that's your other drink. So you've got a long list, okay, of things you can eat. And you ought to be eating healthy. Get you some salad too. All right, so let's go these picks, these prop bets real fast. This is the top 10. Score on the final 2 minutes in the first half, yes or no. Number 9, first accepted penalty would be against the 49ers or the Chiefs. Will there be a score in the first 6 minutes and 59 seconds? Yes or no. First offensive play of the game, run or pass. Game total under and over 47.5. Game winner, Chiefs or 49ers. Coin toss results, heads or tails. And the length of the national anthem in seconds, 87.5 is the over-under. Man, people are betting everything in this game. It ought to be interesting, to say the least. So those are the prop bets. So let's get serious here for just a moment. As I've told you over the years, I don't put money on games. I know someone who does, and they do pretty decent every now and then. But I do this for fun, and I would have to tell you that this is an interesting game. The 49ers are a 2-point favorite. There's no home field advantage for either team. It's going to come down to, as it always does, who plays the better defense. In other words, who can stop the other team. If I compare the quarterbacks, there's a no-brainer here. It's Patrick Mahomes. There's a no-brainer. If I compare the running backs, I got to give it to CMC. Okay? I mean, there's a reason why he's Offensive Player of the Year. Though, look, Pacheco ain't a slouch, but he ain't CMC. Okay? I got to give it to CMC. If I compare the receivers core, I got to give it to the 49ers. George Kittle, Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk. That's why I say it's going to be a lot tougher on the Chiefs to try to keep Brock Purdy from completing passes, simply because he's got better receivers. It's going to be tough. So I'm giving the running back and the receivers to the 49ers and the quarterback to the Chiefs. Now, if I break that down, Travis Kelce is a problem. So if I compare the two tight ends, Kittle is pretty damn good too, but I got to give that to Kelce. But that's part of the receiving core, so I still got to give that to the 49ers. Those are skill positions. The 49ers' offensive line isn't that great. I've got to give that to the Chiefs. So, skill positions, Chiefs are winning. I mean, the 49ers are winning. The only skill position that the Chiefs get is Patrick Mahomes. Is he good enough to overcome that? Hell yeah, I think he is good enough. The question is, will he? Now, let's look at the other side of the ball real fast. Defense. Chiefs are playing better defense than they've played in some time. The 49ers, on the other hand, their defense has been questionable at best. Middle of the pack. I would have to give that to the Chiefs. Kicking game, I would have to give that to the Chiefs. Interesting. So as I look at this game, there are obviously going to be guys that's going to make plays that we don't expect. As I said, let me put it this way. I said if Christian McCaffrey has over 60 yards in rushing, the Chiefs are going to be in trouble. I'll make the same argument about Isaiah Pacheco. If he has over 60 yards rushing, I think the 49ers are going to be in trouble. He is their one weapon. In my opinion, the Chiefs have two weapons. Real weapons. Pacheco and Kelsey. Now, those other guys will make plays. The other wild card in both of these scenarios is both of these guys. Here's something that we noticed at the end of this season. The only quarterback who was considered the guy who we were expected to do it, although he did it in the divisional round. He couldn't do it in the championship round. Lamar Jackson couldn't run. But we saw Josh Allen running the ball. We saw Patrick Mahomes running the ball. We even saw Brock Purdy running the ball. Extending plays. Getting out of trouble. Those scrambles are huge. Huge. Who's more likely to scramble? Who would be more effective? I think Mahomes would be more effective. So the defense are going to have to figure out a way to keep Mahomes in the pocket. That's not going to be easy. Okay? That's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. 49ers got a heck of a defense, man. At least on paper they do. But they haven't shown up. I mean, when you look at that linebacker core, oh my goodness. But the question is, will they show up? We don't know. It's a tough one to pick, but I'm going to go ahead and make the pick. Chiefs are 2-point underdog. Give me the points, but I'm telling you, I think the Chiefs are going to win this thing outright. I'm going to take the best quarterback. Some people say, are we seeing a reincarnation of Tom Brady? No, we're not. We're seeing something totally different. This guy plays the game totally different. We're not seeing a reincarnation of Tom Brady. We're seeing someone who potentially is redefining the game. He is not out of a game. I've got to go with the Chiefs and Andy Reid. I don't trust Kyle Shanahan. And I've got to go with the team who has the better defense, because what do we always say? Defense wins championships. And I've got to go with the magician Mahomes. He's the real deal Holyfield. I'm taking the Chiefs. As much as I hate it because I'm a Raider fan, but I got to take the Chiefs. The question is, by the way, before we get out of here, if Kyle Shanahan loses this game, does he get fired? Do the owners get impatient and get rid of Kyle Shanahan? That would be interesting. Inquiring minds want to know. Hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you enjoyed some of the foods that I suggested as well. It is big game Saturday. Tomorrow it's going to be crazy. Look, here's what I would advise you to do. You're going to be drinking. Don't drive. Police are going to be out everywhere. Don't drink and drive. Okay? Hope you enjoy the game. We'll see you next Saturday. We'll give you the recap of all that happened in the big game and who should have done what, when, where, and why, and all that other good stuff. You've been listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dr. Dave. Enjoy that radio.com.
Thanks for listening to the Weekly Sports Page with Dynamic David Coleman.
On Dice Right, ice cream, alert, 654 Jose, okay, 1-0.
Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10.
Brown Richmond, 96 double, 96 double. Check, oh, what a player, what a player.
Until next week.